because we're seeing this corporate adoption of Bitcoin, we're very much in that trend at the moment of corporations trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible around the world. But now we're seeing a lot of private companies in the UK, so small to medium-sized enterprises, coming to us and saying, how do we do this? Like, should we be doing this? Is this possible for a private company? We've got excess cash on our balance sheet. Can you, like, we're getting asked to talk to board of directors. Can you educate us about what Bitcoin is? Like, is this an option for us? So we're really seeing an uptick in businesses. And I think that's how it should be, is you've got the corporate adoption of Bitcoin, which is happening. But in the UK, the businesses that make up the UK is 99.9% small to medium-sized enterprises. And that makes up 60% of the UK workforce. These are the companies that need Bitcoin. This is like the backbone of the UK. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is over the past year to 2 years, I've been watching my my entrepreneurial friends, my people that I know that run businesses leave the UK. And there is stats out there of the UK is one of the highest emigration countries when it comes to entrepreneurs. And I've been actually seeing this in real life, witnessing friends moving to wherever it is. Dubai is the hot one to go to. And it's sad to see that people are just getting squeezed out of the UK, which is why I've kind of turned the attention of the Bitcoin Collective to this pool of businesses in the UK, that we've got the greatest money right here, which is Bitcoin. And we're seeing how it works on corporate balance sheets. But the people that really need it are the small to medium-sized companies in the UK. So what I've done is I've pivoted our company to address this problem and really focus our education on that niche of people.
Interesting. I love that. Really cool. I always like to see that people are working on the educational side and kind of trying to get more people to Bitcoin, no matter if it's a group of people, which is called a company, or a group of people in an institution, pension fund, whatever. And this is always, I think, a good way of seeing how we can get more people to Bitcoin, and therefore also accelerate this whole trend, because we know it's coming. And now we have individually two choices. Do we want to be part of the revolution actively or passively? And how fast we will get there. And the more people that choose to be actively there, the better it will be long term, I think.
100%. It's just about taking action. And I hear who was it that said it, that I heard it first? Oh, it's Peter McCormack that I heard say it first. But I'm not sure who coined it. But you just said you can just do things. And that's what I really like, is people just need to take action. And if you are into Bitcoin and you think you can help with adoption in whatever you're passionate about, I'm passionate about businesses and getting them in, entrepreneurs in. And the nice thing is that entrepreneurs are actually the ones that are most likely to get it first. It's like they're the low-hanging fruit for Bitcoin, because they're already critical thinkers and action takers and builders. And then if you say that there is a problem, you've got a problem, if let's just say an example, they're holding excess cash on their balance sheet long term that they do not need. And you are saying, okay, let's look at the pound. What's happened over the past 5, 10 years when it comes to devaluation of that? And if they've just got it sitting there in, say, there's no interest you're getting on that, you're losing that in purchasing power. Sorry, there's a fly. You're losing that in purchasing power. So once you show an entrepreneur, a business owner, a problem, then they will look for a solution, and you can show that solution as Bitcoin. It's very much similar to Joe's video, Joe Bryan, I think you've had on the show. He just tells a story. I'm getting attacked by a fly. I'm sorry. It won't leave me alone. He tells a story through what's the problem, the video, what's the problem. And he doesn't really mention Bitcoin. He just makes people realize, oh, there is a problem here, and then leaves it to them to look for a solution. So as long as you can highlight that problem to entrepreneurs, business owners, that will spark something for them to look for a solution to it.
Is that the best way for us to get like more real world Bitcoin adoption in how you see it?
I believe so, because you are going to these business owners who maybe employ X amount of employees, and that then trickles down. If, say, they adopt a Bitcoin strategy, if that's, it could be anything. It could be holding Bitcoin on your balance sheet. It could be accepting Bitcoin payments. It could be paying your employees in Bitcoin. There's so many different ways that you can start out with Bitcoin. It's not just you should be holding this on your balance sheet, or you should be accepting it as a form of payment. So once you've done that with an organization, a business, then that trickles down to employees, that trickles down to customers, and it's just it reaches a lot further than just going to each person individually.
How do you look at the whole Bitcoin business as it's like now we have so many more businesses that are interested in buying Bitcoin, being involved in Bitcoin, building in Bitcoin. It's kind of, it came out of the blue. 5 years ago, it was not a topic at all when I was kind of getting into the scene. I mean, Sailor also got in the time in the scene. So like it was getting a little bit of a topic, but even though Sailor strategy came in, the Bitcoin treasury, the Bitcoin company kind of narrative really came into effect the last, let's say, 8 to 12 months, maybe 18 months, something like that. So we're really starting to see that whole Bitcoin company, Bitcoin treasury kind of like narrative.
Yeah, and like each cycle with Bitcoin, we've kind of gone through different a narrative for that cycle, essentially. And this one is the adoption of Bitcoin corporations and the beginnings of nation state adoption as well. But for me, it's a big plus. So this is adoption of Bitcoin, and however people want to use it, they should be able to use it. Bitcoin is for everyone, and this just this highlights like how, or it's like a marketing tool essentially for Bitcoin. Let's think of it like that. Is when people see a stock strategy, for example, going up, they will question, why is that happening? Why is strategy the best performing asset, or the best performing share in the US over the last 5 years? You need to fact check me on that, but let's just say that. And that then makes people look at why, and then they look at Bitcoin. So it's like another entry point in for people to Bitcoin. And what we're seeing in the UK at the moment is there's a new Bitcoin treasury company called the Smart Web Company. And that has brought in so many people into understanding a little bit more about Bitcoin, because unfortunately, like, number goes up, that that does bring people to it, and that's what brought me to Bitcoin originally. But then you slowly go down understanding what it is. So people that don't know much about Bitcoin are having to then learn about it if they want to buy this this company. So I see them as a great entry point, as long as people realize that if they're buying the likes of smarter web companies, strategy, whoever it is, they understand that this is not Bitcoin. Like, there's nothing for me that trumps self custody Bitcoin. Um, but I think from an adoption point of view, a marketing point of view of Bitcoin, I think these are great, and they are going to be the most powerful companies in the world, because they are getting in early.
Is there something like bad adoption for Bitcoin? Like, is there things that if it's there's like a progress in adoption that it might be bad for Bitcoin? I mean, Satoshi in the early days was kind of cautious when things went too quick with it. Is there like a risk still to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I can just speak from my perspective. Like, I see Bitcoin as money. So I really believe in Bitcoin as a medium of exchange, and it should be used as a medium of exchange as well. So we are going through a phase of Bitcoin as a store of value, where you're seeing companies just and people just buy Bitcoin and just hold it, and they will never let it go. Um, so I think this is a later stage. We will see Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. Be That'll come in however many years. But for people to really understand it, then store of value makes way more sense, because speaking in the UK, people don't have a problem paying with in the UK. Like, you can go to the shop and uh, have your iPhone and scan your face, and you just pay really quickly, easily. So there's no real problem there. But with the store of value currently, with fiat money in general, let's just say, there's a big problem there. So I think this might be just a stepping stone to then Bitcoin becoming, like, to its full potential. And I think we need to really concentrate on that as well, and highlight that Bitcoin isn't just this asset. It is money, and you can use it as a form of payment, and a medium exchange. That for me is a worry, that we go too far down that store of value. Um, like, you'll see the mempool have like empty blocks. There has been, and that sort of thing, like, is a bit of a worry. But I believe that this is a stepping stone of adoption, and we will get there.
By the way, I love the empty mempool right now. I do transact a lot in Bitcoin. I actually do it on chain right now, and I mean a lot. It's like a few times a month because I get paid in Bitcoin. I pay in Bitcoin, so I do love to be able to send money to Colombia for 70 cents. Otherwise, the fiat system takes like between 10 to 30 euros for the same amount. Like, it was like, I don't know, like, let's just say $1,000. The fiat system takes like 10 to $30 from that. The Bitcoin fees is like 70 cents. And Bitcoin, I just need an address. With fiat, I need all the information of the recipient, and it's like, oh gosh, why is it so hard? Like, come on. So even on the payment side, of course, like, if you pay your coffee or anything like that works perfectly fine. It's like, of course, it's like just a database entry. But once it gets to be international, oh man, the headache is huge. I don't even like fiat payments anymore. It's like, It's like, how do I do that? And I had an interesting moment today. I was sitting with Daniel White. He was visiting in Vienna, and he told me about how he started his business with Microseed and kind of started accepting fiat and accepting Bitcoin at the booth of the Bitcoin conference. And I was like, I know how to accept Bitcoin, but I actually don't know how to accept fiat physically. Like, do I need an app? Do I need to buy things to accept a credit card and things like that? And he explained it to me how it works. But I know, like, if I start a lemonade stand in Vienna, I could do it right now without looking anything up on my phone with Bitcoin. I know how to do it. I would have no clue how to do it with fiat just because I never looked it up. I know how to accept, like, I can give you my bank account and you send me money. Yeah, like that's pretty easy, of course. But how to do like the physical point of sales thing, I have no clue about. Now I know because I've got it, but like previously I had no clue about how to even start doing that. So it's interesting when you are Bitcoin first, when you're kind of like someone that lives on Bitcoin, you forget the fiat things, and it's really it really frees your mind if you forget all about fiat, and you don't even think about borrowing against your Bitcoin because you just like love Bitcoin, so you use it as money, you buy it, you earn it, you spend it, you don't have to buy or sell it.
It's and the thing is, like, if you're selling something in the fiat world, then you also have to think about it. They're going to take a 1%, 2% fee on that if you're using something like Stripe or whatever payment point of sale terminal it is. It's quite funny when you're saying that, like international payments as well. Like on my podcast, I had a guy called Tim Bresnan. So he was a international cricketer for England for many years and won the Ashes with them. And he came on, and I was showing him Lightning and Lightning payments. And what we did is I got a friend of mine who lives in El Salvador to just quickly jump on the podcast. And what I did was I sent him Bitcoin to El Salvador, and then he sent it to Tim, all within about 20 seconds.
Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.